Houston Real Estate Radio starts right now.
Welcome back. You're listening to Houston Real Estate Radio. I'm Shannon Register, and each week we want to bring you the newest, most trendiest information we can so that when you get ready to buy or sell a home, you know what to look for and you know how to make your home be presentable to the buyers. That's very important when you're selling a home. So this week we are out at the Woodlands Home and Garden Show. It's been a fabulous turnout today. Lots of vendors out here and a lot of speakers as well. One of the next person that I'm going to have on the show is actually Kate Smith, and she is from Sensational Color. She's from Rhode Island, and she's here in the Houston area to help people pick colors, paint colors. And she works with paint companies usually to help consumers with purchasing, being able to kind of pick the color they want, figuring out what their needs are and what color they want, and getting it out of their head and onto the house. So she's going to talk with us a little bit about that. She's got a system going she's going to tell us about. So welcome to the show, Kate.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
So tell us about this system you have, this approach that you take.
Okay. Well, you know what? I'm going to be talking here tomorrow with homeowners, both in my presentation and also I'll be here on the show floor to answer questions. And I take something for exterior colors, which I call my fresh approach to choosing colors. And I use the word fresh because it helps the homeowners remember the 5 key elements that they need to consider when choosing exterior color.
Okay. So the fresh approach is what we need to remember when we're choosing exterior colors on the home. Does this approach work? Does this work for interior too, or this is just for exterior?
Well, actually, interior is a little bit different, and I can share some things with interior. But for the exterior, it's kind of the same. But I think for exterior specifically, fresh works because if you think of the 5 letters, let me just tell you a little bit about what those are. Okay. So F is for what I call fixed features. And fixed features are the elements on the home that are not likely to change.
Fireplace, chimney.
Yeah, the chimney. Oftentimes the roof, because I always start color from the top down. So if you have a really great roof on your home, that's a long-term item. It's not something you're going to change. And even if you are going to be putting on a new roof, you're going to want to take the same approach because you want all of the elements to be integrated. So when you start with the roof, you might have stone or brick. There's a lot of homes here in Houston that have those elements on the exterior.
A lot of rock here in the Houston area.
And also even into your landscaping and other elements, your walkways. So you always want to start by looking at the fixed elements that aren't going to change on your home because it's important that you incorporate colors that work with those. And when you bring in those fixed elements, they're not usually a solid color. So even whether it's your roof or your stone or your brick, you've got to look at something that I call color cast, which is sort of the general color. You may look at brick and say, hey, it looks red to me, but really it might be gray or it might be a bit brown. So you want to really identify the colors in your fixed elements of your home. Okay. So that's the important thing because then it starts to, as I always say, your exterior of your home is pointing you to the right colors. It's telling you what colors to choose. You just have to learn how to listen to what it's saying. So those fixed features are one of the keys to really starting to work towards the right colors.
So that's the F in fresh.
The next thing is R is the regional colors because every area of the country has different colors that work. Okay. What might work in New England may not work down in the Southwest. What's beautiful up in Washington State, here in Houston, the lighting's different, the styles are different, so it's not always going to work. So you want to think about the region of your country, really look around and see what's going to work in the actual region. The next thing is E, which is your environment and surroundings. That can include everything from your neighborhood. You want to look around your neighborhood. As I say, if all the houses in your neighborhood are bright neon colors, well, it's okay to go with fluorescent yellow. If they're really toned down neutrals, that's not going to work.
Right.
So you want to find something that's going to fit into your environment so it's going to stand out while still fitting in. And that's really key when you're thinking about your environment and surroundings. Also, is your lot wide open? Is it shady? Are there a lot of trees? And people kind of think it's funny, but I often look at just even what the natural dirt is, the ground, some of the colors, because you want something oftentimes that will fit in with that. So that takes you up to your E. And then your F is the S is your style of home. So
traditional, Mediterranean.
Exactly, Southwestern, whether it's a ranch, whether it's also this new American style, which is kind of a combination of styles. So you want to take something that works with the style of home. And so again, certain colors work better on certain styles of home. So you want to think about what's my style and look around and find colors that work. And last is the H, which stands for two things. It's historic or have to use colors. And historic is pretty self-explanatory. You're in a historic district. Are you somewhere where you have to take colors that have a historic value?
Right.
Have to use or something different. This is what sometimes people forget. Are you in a homeowners association?
Right.
Do you have to have somebody approve your colors? I've had homeowners call me and say, yikes, I never asked and I painted my house, now I have a problem. How do I overcome that? And I've helped them, but it's much better to think about it on the front end.
Right.
To work with your homeowners association and to really ask them, even if you read your covenants,
the deed restrictions.
The restrictions, even beyond that, I always say just calling them and saying, hey, you know what, I'm getting ready to paint. Give me some key, what works, what's the process, and talk to them, because what you read and what they might actually do in practice can be a little different. And you also have to incorporate in the time it takes to get their approval.
Right.
And so you want to think about those things as you're choosing. So if you think about those 5 elements as you're choosing your exterior color, you're going to find something that works perfectly. As I said, all those elements will start to point you to the colors. So rather than looking at a big deck of 1,200 colors, you're starting to narrow it down and saying, okay, I know exactly what's going to be perfect.
Yeah, you've got me thinking about my own house now. I'm thinking, what color would work based on all of those criteria?
Well, you know what? It sounds a little complicated, but for this reason, I've put together an ebook that I offer on my website. It's sensationalcolor.com. And if you go there, I actually have 2 ebooks, both about, one's all about the fresh approach and gives a longer explanation written out so you understand all the steps, what to look at, how to figure out color cast. It gives you everything you need to know right there. The second one is specifically about style, and it gets inside my head as I choose colors for 7 different styles of homes. So as you see how I'm thinking about it, what elements are important, you'll be able to get an idea of how my thinking goes as I'm looking at a house, so you can do it on your home as well.
That sounds good. Tell me again the website.
It's sensationalcolor.com.
So if you were frantically trying to write down the fresh approach, you can go.
Yes, you don't need to. I should have said that right at the beginning. I never expect anybody to remember anything. No note taking here. I give you everything. You can go to Sensational Color. And in fact, when you get to my homepage, there's a little box right there that says, if you're looking for this, just click here. So you don't even have to search around. I have a lot of information there.
Yeah.
So you can find those ebooks, and they're available for immediate download. So
great.
That's a great way to try to find your perfect colors for your exterior. And I hope I've spelled it out quite simply. I've talked to a lot of people that have used them, and they're like, oh my gosh, I've been thinking about my home, couldn't figure out the colors. Now I know exactly what it is. And then, you can choose things like for your own home, a colorful front door, something to really make it, add your personality.
Is there a certain color in this area that people tend to lean towards, builders and developers? Is there a color they tend to lean towards?
Well, you know what I think in the past it's always been those beautiful tans and neutrals, but they're getting a little bit more out of that because there's so many more interesting neutrals that are actually have some color to them. And I think we're seeing them pick up the colors on the elements like the stone and the brick, especially the stone, pulling out some of those subtle greens and some of the golds and some of the other colors. So there's a broader range now that we seem to be leaning to, but still all colors that are beautifully based in nature.
So you're talking to consumers. They can actually bring in their pictures to the Woodlands Home and Garden Show and show you pictures and say, okay, what color do you think I should use on my house? And you can help them actually narrow it down.
Yes, absolutely. Okay. That's what I'm here to help them, give them some ideas. And basically what I find is most people do have a good idea. They just don't know how to get it out of their head, have it be what shows up in their home. And that's where, with some expertise, I have a better idea. And even if they don't have a picture, come ask me a question, because often it's just that little bit of advice on how to actually get to the right color that I can help you understand how to do it, the process.
It's just so intimidating when you walk into that paint store. I mean, there's just so many shades. You know, you think, I want a tan living room, and you walk in there and there's a million tans, and you have no idea. And then you're looking at a little, 2 by 2 inch swatch of it, and you just don't know if that's going to work.
Shannon, you know what? You're absolutely right. And I think that's where homeowners sometimes get frustrated. And even in my interior approach, the same thing. We start by, instead of having to look at all 1,200, narrowing it down before you even walk in the door, so that you're kind of focused on, here's what I'm trying to get. You can pull some swatches. I share the information about how to sample the colors, so you know before that actual first brush touches the wall or the roller that it's going to be exactly what you have in mind.
Well, we've talked a lot about exterior. Real quickly, tell me what some of the hot topics are. I'm going to kind of go room by room, and you tell me what the hot colors are this year.
Okay, I can tell you some hot colors.
Okay.
I can also tell you some things to think about.
Okay, real quickly, for kitchens, what color do you recommend?
Well, kitchens have been, especially in countertops, things, again, getting back to natural, but gray. We went away from
Grays,
some browns.
okay.
We've gone to grays, and now we're kind of coming back. But also the thing I'm seeing is sometimes a different color for your island than for your cabinets.
Okay,
so you
good
might
to
do
know.
a painted cabinet in the island, something else
Different
for your
color.
a different color.
Almost like an accent wall, but it's an accent island.
Exactly, something like
Okay,
that.
living room.
Living room,
Main living area.
Actually, the main living area, and sometimes it's not a living room anymore. It's that open floor plan. Again, back to what I was saying about that exterior, those beautiful kind of complex neutrals. So rather than just sticking with cream or white or some of the even tans, going to something that's a little bit more sophisticated, slightly green, a green gray, maybe a blue green gray, even a
I love
bit
those
of gold.
green grays.
Yeah, they're beautiful. They're
The gold
beautiful.
grays are nice too.
Yes,
That's a really nice tone.
Even into purple. I hate to say that because people think
wow.
lavender, but really a gray that tends a little bit purple. So we're seeing a lot of those more sophisticated colors for the main living area.
Okay, then the half bath, because nobody ever knows what to do with a half bath.
Oh, the half bath can be so fun. And
It's a little bitty space.
the half bath is the room that I say, go for it, because especially if it's your guest bath, this is where you can add a little bit of surprise of color. So if you have an accent color in your home, maybe that's the color to put on your walls in your half bath, so that you have something that's bold and stands out. It's a great place to do it. It's not like your master bath. You're not looking to be soothed. You're looking for somebody to open up the door and go, wow, this is fun, and a little bit of a surprise. So that's what I like to do in a half bath, more so.
Okay to go dark, even though it's a small room?
Yeah, you can go dark in there.
All right, fantastic. Well, we appreciate you so much coming on the show and giving us some great tips. And again, that website is sensationalcolor.com.
Yes.
If you want to go and download those ebooks, get a lot of great information from Kate Smith. We're here at the Woodlands Home and Garden Show. We'll be right back after a word from our sponsors.